He had nothing. Then he learned this one habit. 3 years ago, this man was sleeping in his car, showering at a public gym he couldn't afford, and eating whatever he could buy with the coins in his cup holder. Today, he runs a 7-figure business, wakes up before sunrise on purpose, and says the worst thing that ever happened to him was the best gift of his life. And no, he didn't win the lottery. He didn't go viral. He didn't get saved by some rich uncle. He learned one habit. One. And it changed everything. If you like stories about real transformation, about ordinary people pulling something extraordinary out of nothing, then hit subscribe and tap that notification bell right now. Because every week we break down stories like this, and sometimes the lesson you hear at the right moment can change your entire trajectory. This might be one of those moments. His name doesn't matter, because this story isn't really about him, it's about you. But let's call him Marcus. Marcus grew up normal, not rich, not dirt poor, just average. He did what everyone told him to do. Go to school, get decent grades, find a stable job. Don't take risks, play it safe. He believed that if he just followed the script, life would take care of him. It didn't. At 26, Marcus had a job he hated. He worked in a warehouse 10 hours a day, moving boxes that weren't his, building a future that wasn't his. Every Sunday night, he felt that heavy pressure in his chest, that quiet panic, the kind that whispers, "This can't be it." But he ignored it, because bills, because responsibility, because fear. Then the company downsized. Just like that, his badge stopped working. No warning, no backup plan, one cardboard box of his stuff. A handshake from a manager who wouldn't remember his name in a week. Marcus told himself it was temporary. He'd find something else. He applied everywhere. Grocery stores, delivery jobs, call centers. Weeks turned into months, savings drained, credit cards maxed out, rent overdue, and one night, after a brutal argument with his landlord, he loaded what he could into his car. And that became his home. Now here's the part nobody sees on Instagram. The cold nights. The way your back aches from trying to sleep sitting up. The embarrassment of brushing your teeth in a gas station bathroom while pretending you're just on a road trip. The way your phone battery becomes your lifeline. Because once that dies, you feel invisible. Marcus hit bottom, and here's the scary part. He got comfortable there, not happy, just numb. He started waking up late, scrolling endlessly, watching other people win while telling himself the system was rigged. Blaming the economy, his old boss, his luck, anyone but himself, until one morning something small happened. Something stupid. He was sitting in his car at 147A, staring at the windshield, procrastinating on filling out another job application. And an older guy parked next to him. Nothing special, just some construction worker on his lunch break. But Marcus noticed something. The guy pulled out a notebook. Not a phone, a notebook. And for 15 minutes, he just wrote, no distractions, no scrolling, just writing. Then he closed it, took a deep breath, and went back to work. That moment stuck with Marcus all day. Why was that guy writing, planning, dreaming, figuring something out? Marcus realized he hadn't written down a goal in years. He hadn't made a real plan since high school. He'd been reacting to life, not directing it. That night, instead of scrolling until his battery hit 5%, Marcus found an old receipt and a pen in his glove box. And he wrote one sentence. I will not wake up broke 3 years from now. That was it. No perfect strategy. No step-by-step blueprint. Just a decision. But here's where the habit comes in. The next morning he wrote again. This time 3 things he could control that day. Apply to 5 jobs. Watch 1 free video about making money online. Do 50 push-ups in the park. Tiny. Almost laughable. But he did them, and something strange happened. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of control. A spark. It wasn't about the jobs, it wasn't about the push-ups. It was about keeping a promise to himself, so he did it again the next day, and the next. That notebook became his anchor. Every morning, before the world could punch him in the face, he punched first. He wrote his targets. Small, clear, non-negotiable. And here's the mini cliffhanger. Within 30 days, nothing had changed. He was still in his car, still broke, still uncertain. So why didn't he quit? Because internally, everything was changing. Marcus started waking up earlier. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to win the morning. He'd write his goals. Then he'd sit quietly for 5 minutes and picture the version of himself who wasn't broke. The version who solved problems, who created value, who didn't blame. It felt delusional at first, almost embarrassing. But he kept doing it. Then one of those, watch a free video, tasks led him down a rabbit hole. Freelancing, digital skills, copywriting. He had no experience, no portfolio, no laptop at first, just his phone and library Wi-Fi. But every day it was in the notebook. Learn one thing, practice one thing, reach out to one potential client. Rejections piled up, 50, 60, 80, silence, no thanks, went with someone else. It would have been easy to say, see, this doesn't work. But the habit was bigger than the outcome. Every rejection went in the notebook too. Not as proof he was a failure, but as data. What could he improve? What skill was missing? What message wasn't landing? 3 months in, he landed his first tiny gig, $50, for writing product descriptions. It took him 10 hours. He made $5 an hour. Most people would have laughed at that. Marcus didn't. Because it wasn't about the $50. It was proof the plan could work. And here's the bigger reveal. That one habit of daily written intention did something no motivational speech ever could. It forced him to confront himself. On paper, excuses look weak. Too tired. Not in the mood. When you see them written down, they lose power. The notebook became his mirror. Within a year, Marcus wasn't in his car anymore. He rented a tiny room, mattress on the floor, second-hand desk, but every morning same ritual. Write the goals, visualize the future, execute. He built skill, then reputation, then referrals. Income grew. Slowly at first, then faster. But here's the twist. 2 years after he started, when money was finally good, when the struggle story would have made a great ending, he almost lost everything again. Because comfort crept back in. He stopped writing daily. I know what to do, he told himself. I've got this figured out. And almost immediately, his focus slipped. Projects got sloppy. Deadlines stretched. Income dipped. It terrified him, not because of the money, but because he realized the habit wasn't a ladder he could throw away after climbing. It was the foundation. Remove it, and everything cracks. So he went back to the basics. Notebook, pen. 3 controllable actions, every single day. And that's when things exploded. He didn't just freelance anymore. He built a small agency. Then systems. Then investments. The habit evolved. The goals got bigger. But the core stayed the same: clarity, daily action, radical ownership. Now here's the lesson most people miss. The habit wasn't writing. It was deliberate living. It was deciding that no matter how chaotic life felt, there would be a pocket of control every morning. A moment where he chose direction instead of drifting. When you have nothing, your mind becomes your greatest enemy. It whispers that you're behind, that you're unlucky, that other people have advantages you don't. And maybe they do. But the habit silenced that noise. Because progress, even microscopic progress, is louder than doubt. Marcus didn't need a mentor at first. He needed a mirror. He needed proof that he could keep promises to himself, that he could show up when nobody was watching. That's what built his confidence. Not the money, not the apartment, the discipline. And here's the part that might sting. Most people don't fail because they lack opportunity. They fail because they lack sustained intention. They try something for a week, maybe 2. Then quit when the results don't show up on schedule. Marcus was in his car for months after starting the habit. Months. Imagine doing everything right and still seeing nothing change. That's where most dreams die. In the gap between effort and evidence, he survived the gap. Now when people ask him for advice, expecting some secret strategy, he laughs. Because the answer feels too simple. Too boring. Write down what you'll do tomorrow. And do it. That's it. But don't underestimate boring. Boring done consistently becomes extraordinary. Think about it. What would change in your life if every single morning, before your phone, before the chaos, you wrote 3 actions that moved you forward? Not fantasies. Not get rich, real actions. Send the email, do the workout, make the call, and then you did them. No negotiation. For 30 days. Who would you become? Marcus says the money was a byproduct. The real win was identity. He stopped seeing himself as a victim of circumstance and started seeing himself as a builder. And builders don't wait for permission. So here's my question for you. If you're being brutally honest, where are you drifting right now? Career, health, relationships. Where have you been reacting instead of directing? Don't answer me? Answer it in writing. Tonight, grab anything. A notebook, a scrap of paper, your notes app if you must, and write 1 sentence about who you refuse to be 3 years from now. Then tomorrow morning, write 3 actions. And execute. It won't feel dramatic. There won't be fireworks, but something inside you will shift. A quiet power. The kind that compounds. Marcus had nothing. No safety net. No connections. Just a pen and a decision. And that was enough. If this story hit you, if you know someone who feels stuck, send this to them. Share it. Because sometimes the smallest habit can pull someone out of the darkest place. And I want to hear from you. What's one habit you know would change your life if you actually committed to it for a year? Drop it in the comments. Be specific. Not, be better. What will you do daily? Read other people's answers too. You might find accountability in a stranger's words, and if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on the bell. Because the next story might be the one that shifts something permanent in you. Remember this. Your life doesn't change when your circumstances change. It changes when your standards do, so pick up the pen and start.